video is sponsored by Squarespace. I am once again decluttering my room. I am re-decluttering. The last time I did a really big declutter was in June 2019, so it's been a while, and unfortunately I have once again amassed some stuff that I do not really want or need, and I don't think you should wait until it's gotten really bad until you take the time to do a declutter. So my first tip of many that I'll share in this video is that decluttering is not just a one-time thing. After you declutter, you'll have to learn how to bring less stuff into your life, and you probably won't be perfect at that. So you'll have to do some decluttering in the future, hopefully not as intense, but a little bit. Before we start, this video is part of a 4-video spring decluttering series where I am decluttering my desk, my room, my closet, and then my mind and digital stuff. So be sure to subscribe to see the rest of the videos, and also join us over on the Viably app where you can join community challenges and be inspired to declutter your own life. Let's get started. So the common thread you'll see throughout all these videos is that my decluttering process is generally to first take everything out, sort it into piles like keep, donate, and throw away, and then put it all back. This time hopefully in a more organized way. That was a process I followed back in 2019. I had a lot more stuff then, but still I got 3 boxes, labeled them keep, donate, throw away, took everything out of my closet, drawers, shelves, etc. and dumped it into the middle of the room. Then I sorted everything into those boxes, and with the stuff that remained, I tried to figure out a system for storing it that made more sense than what I had before. So today should definitely be easier. I'm not feeling as overwhelmed as I was last time, but I think it'll still be really satisfying. So let's do step 1 and make an absolute mess of my room. I totally forgot I even had this stuff. I kept this box around for photo props and stuff like that. This takes me back to my photography days. I actually did some photo shoots with this spinny tinsel thing. I think it's just supposed to be a toy, but then I watched a Mango Street photography video where they used it to create some cool light and colors. And then I have this prism. I think just based on the fact that I totally forgot I had this stuff, it's gonna go. As you're going through everything, you might start changing your mind and moving stuff between boxes, which is fine, but because of that, I think it really helps to fully finish deciding what you're keeping and what you're getting rid of before you start organizing and putting stuff away. Also, I think the putting stuff away part is just the most fun, so you can save it for the end as your reward. Let's talk about sentimental items. I'm not a very sentimental person. I don't know why. I think I used to be when I was little, and then just through growing up and also the sheer number of hours of the Minimalist podcast that I've listened to, I just kind of lost that. To be fair, I don't own that many things that I could be sentimental about, but like for example, school awards and trophies, I just had no problem getting rid of those, whereas my dad was like, keep them for the memories. He would even tell me to keep like badges from competitions and conferences and stuff like that. So I'm not sentimental about that kind of stuff, but one thing that I am having a little bit of trouble with is my journals. My journals I have decided not to get rid of because I think they are a really precious window into my thoughts, into my soul, especially during like really formative years of my life. So they will remain in this box. But another thing I have in this box are high school and middle school yearbooks. Logically, I do not own the only copies of these yearbooks that are in existence. If I ever do want to look at them again for some reason, there's plenty of copies at my physical school buildings, I'm sure. And then also I think a lot of my friends will hold on to them, so I'll be able to look at theirs. And another thing to remember is out of these big books, probably the only really interesting things are the signatures at the front and the back, and then the photos of my class, and then photos of clubs that I was in. Otherwise, like there are so many sections of this that mean nothing to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take pictures of only those meaningful pages and then get rid of the rest of the yearbook. I'm not gonna tell my parents, and I don't think they watch most of my videos anyways, but I don't think they've looked at these yearbooks past the day that I brought them home. So goodbye middle school and high school years, symbolically. Let's take a tour through all of my yearbook photos, and I'm gonna resist the urge to say anything judgmental about these photos because we should be accepting of both our current version and all past versions of ourselves. Period. Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I've been using Squarespace for 3.5 years now, a long time. I've used it for my blog, for my photography business, but the thing that I want to show you today is how you can set up an online store using Squarespace if you sell digital products like ebooks or Lightroom presets or physical items like clothing or crafts. So first of all, you can pick one of their templates, which are all really beautiful, and then customize it to match your branding, use drag and drop blocks to design your pages without any coding, and then to really take your business to the next level, Squarespace has a bunch of third-party extensions to help you manage inventory, promote products, streamline bookkeeping, reconcile and file sales tax, all that businessy stuff. So you get into Squarespace for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch your online store or any sort of business, you can head to squarespace.com/theblissbean to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. So I have a secret to show you guys. I've been hiding something from you. After I did my room makeover, I just pushed a bunch of stuff out in the hallway that I did not know what to do with, and I just have not done anything with it since then. And my family, bless their hearts, have not complained about it. I have even added stuff to that pile over the last few months, so I'm finally gonna face it. I'm gonna do something with that stuff, and I'm gonna bring it into my room so that I can't just have it out of sight and out of mind. I have to pick the stuff up one by one and decide what I'm gonna do with it. 3 categories I knew I wanted to look through were, first of all, my jewelry. I tend to wear the same pieces over and over. Toiletry items like moisturizers and perfumes. And then my 2 makeup bags to get rid of anything that was old or that I just really wasn't using at all. I also took some time to go through my big box of pen pal letters, letters from friends, birthday cards, etc. and take photos of everything because I just didn't really want to hold on to the physical copies, but they were very important memories. So I took photos and uploaded them to Google Photos, and then I recycled the actual paper letters. I also decided my wall decor needed a bit of a refresher. This wall of my room, no offense to it, but it's kind of my least favorite. I think it's a little bit cluttered, and also the colors kind of clash with how bright white the wall itself is. So I took some time to rearrange that, take down some of the stuff, put up some new art, and I like it a lot better now. Still probably not my favorite wall though. So, I know it looks like there's no rhyme or reason to this, but this is roughly divided into what I'm keeping, what I'm selling or donating, and then what I'm throwing away. I think I'm gonna call it a day though. Here's an underrated decluttering tip: is take breaks and give yourself plenty of time, because honestly this stuff is exhausting. And also throughout the process, you're probably gonna find stuff like old yearbooks like I found, or letters to read through, and you just wanna give yourself time to actually have fun with the process. So I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. I had a ton of product packaging boxes stashed away in my closet, so I went through those to actually make sure that there still was a reason to hold on to them, and most of the warranties or the return periods had actually expired, so I flattened most of the boxes to make them easier to recycle. Another big category that I had to tackle was PR gifts. So I'm very grateful for the free stuff that companies offered to send me, but I think my problem was that I had been blogging for so long, and for the majority of that time, no one wanted to send me stuff, like no one wanted to sponsor the Bliss Bean. So when I did start getting any sorts of offers for any sort of free stuff, I got pretty excited. Some stuff has been super useful, like the blue light glasses I got. I really did need a pair of blue light glasses. But other stuff, not so much. And so even aside from PR gifts, like I used to love getting free t-shirts, free knickknacks, whatever free stuff people wanted to give me. But after decluttering in 2019 and decluttering now, I've become much more wary of that, because now I know the amount of work that it takes to get rid of that stuff, and so I really don't want to put myself into that situation again. This is that stage of the process where it's very easy to get stuck, so I keep telling myself, just pick up one thing and do something with it. Putting stuff away and organizing it was not too hard because there wasn't that much stuff to begin with, but for example, I used to keep some toiletries in this drawer here that always gets stuck, so I decided finally to just make things easier for myself. So I got 2 boxes. In one, I put toiletries that I use pretty much on a daily basis, and then in the other one is like makeup, a flat iron, things I only use when I'm filming videos or going out somewhere, and then I'm gonna keep those in my closet so that they're out of sight, but I can bring them out whenever I need them. I also have a shelf for camera equipment and tech thingy-majigs that I don't use quite as often as the ones that I keep in my desk drawers, and then a shelf for a couple of notebooks, a couple of books, just a couple of magazines, and then a paper trimmer, which, dare I say, is one of the most useful things I have ever owned. One thing that I just realized was that when I was collecting everything in the middle of my room, I didn't take down any of the stuff that I have on my shelves. They don't really bother me the way that other clutter does. I just don't view that shelf decor as clutter because I've had the same decorations on there for a long time. I've barely added anything new. It's not really taking away space from anything else. And I also feel like it's an important element in the videos and the photos that I take. So I kept them, but my piece of advice would be to stop buying new decorations. Once you like how a space looks and it's decluttered, a rule that you might want to follow is one in, one out. So if you're out shopping and you see something that might be a nice decoration for your space, what one thing can you let go of so that you're not just amassing more and more decorations? I feel so much lighter now. I feel like a new person. I feel like I'm at a stage of my life where I'm so excited for the future, and now that I have less things weighing me down, I can move more freely into that future. So let's talk for a second about living with other people. So my family is okay when it comes to minimalism and organization. We certainly disagree sometimes on what should be kept or what should be bought in the first place, but I am grateful for the level of minimalism that we do agree on, if that makes sense. So my final parting tip, because I'm guessing that a lot of the people watching this are of the age that they're living with their family or living with other people, and it can definitely be frustrating when you want to declutter and minimize, but you can't force the people around you to also want the same thing as you. So my best advice is just stick to what you can declutter. If you have your own room, try to keep that nice and minimal. If you share your room with a roommate or a sibling, but you have, for example, your own desk area, try to keep that nice and tidy. The best thing you can do is enjoy your own decluttering. Try to be an example of how enjoyable it is to declutter, and then maybe the people around you will follow your example, but even if they don't, just love them and their mess anyways, because it's not worth arguing about how many books they keep or something like that. So thank you so much for watching this video and decluttering with me. Be sure to check out the first video where I decluttered my desk and workspace, subscribe for the rest of the spring decluttering series, and then also join the decluttering challenge on Vibely to declutter alongside me and a bunch of other lovely Bliss beans. I will see you next week. Bye!